Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a new Road to Class. No, it's not class anymore. We're Road to Expert. Apologies. I was thinking of my Road to Class A series, but we have graduated to Expert, or on our way to Expert, anyways. So this is going to document my journey from Class A to Expert, and this will be game number 2. My opponent is Eli Baumann, who is 1970. And at the time we played this game, which was back in August, about 2 months ago, I was rated 1736 as my published rating because they had not marked my Class A yet up to 1850 or whatever. So right now, all of the games in this particular tournament are going to be 1736, even though it hasn't published. But that's fine. It doesn't really matter. This is round 2 of the Hot Summer Swiss. And again, I played this back in August 7th. So let's get into it. Now, he played e4, c5. I didn't know a lot about my opponent, and he played a3. And at this point, I'm already out of book. I don't know what to do. I haven't seen this move, and I played a6. I figured, well, I don't know much. He's probably going to play b4. And I'll play e6, and then I can take the pawn if he decides to do that. And that's exactly what happened. So my thoughts were right. And at this point, the game is equal. I've equalized, and everything's fine because of White's goofy move order, which I talked to him afterwards. He said that this was his own homebrew opening where he likes to pass the tempo back to black to see what they're going to do and how to proceed. So, which is cool. He likes to also do this to get a big center by giving up the B pawn for the C pawn. So, but the nice thing is he has this ability to get this really nice strong center. And I played bishop to A7, and this was the first move that kind of surprised him. The best move, or the book move, is bishop to E7, but I'm unfamiliar with this at this point, and I thought, well, I want to keep everything kind of... He's not going to castle queenside with the way his structure is. So I thought, well, I want to keep the bishop on this diagonal, and I will eventually disrupt the center. That's my idea anyways. And I played bishop to A7. It's certainly a novelty and not something that you should be played. Maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. It's tough to say. I'm not sure. I'm trying to figure everything out over the board at this point. He played knight f3, and here I thought for a little while about what the best way to proceed was, because out of book here has me taking a lot more time, and I really wanted to do as best as I could, but not knowing some of the move orders, he didn't play into the main line. I don't really know what to do, so I'm pretty much stuck on my own as best I could, trying to figure out everything during the game. b5, that's kind of an inaccuracy. It wants knight c6, which is probably a little bit better. I don't think it matters one way or another. He played bishop to d3, bishop b7, castles, and queen to c7. And I've got all of my pieces pointing at the king. And I like this. I think this is very good. I'm not too upset about how things have gone so far. It's still pretty much, it's not equal anymore. This move allows for plus 1.5. So positionally, White's doing better, mainly because of the strong center. And engines really like space. So I'm not really taking the evaluation too much to count here. So I kind of take it with a grain of salt. Bishop d2, or b2, sorry, and d6. And here I played this with the idea of maybe potentially locking down the center and getting a weird French. I had a 10-minute advantage at this point, and I thought, well, I know the only notes that I had about him were somebody had mentioned that he's really strong tactically. And I would assume you have to be if you're going to be close to 2,000. So I thought, well, maybe I might have better chances if I close things down and play positionally. So that was kind of where my thinking was. He played knight c3, knight d7, knight e2. And I think he might have had a better move playing a4, kind of disrupting my queenside right away, but he didn't do that. So knight e2 and knight gf6. And like I said, I'm not quite sure why I did this, but I calculated a little bit of what I wanted if he played e5, and I kind of think I just kind of messed up. I think a better option would have been knight e7 and got like this hedgehog type of structure, and I feel like this would have been a little bit better to play for. It's difficult to play. I still have the option to castle kingside or queenside. A4 can come, c4 can come, and the queenside can kind of get messed up pretty quick. But then I've also got all these pieces kind of coming towards the kingside, so playing for the kingside might not be ideal either. It's a really tough position to play, and I'm not exactly sure what's best here, but I played knight e2 and then knight gf6, and apparently this is equal, which is fine. It has a very, very slight advantage to white, which is plus 0.3, so it's tough to say which way is better. But he played knight g3, and I played h6. I think a better plan might have been to try to harass the knight a little bit and go from there. But I thought that if I was going to castle kingside, maybe that was a little bit weakening. But maybe it's best to just stay in the middle of the position and tuck my king away up here. It's really kind of tough to say. h6 and then rook to c1. So I have a feeling that he wants to maybe potentially push c4. And I thought, well, I might have to stop that. So I played knight b6. And I think this was a mistake because it allows for e5. Now, apparently e5 is a mistake, but it's hard to deal with, I think. His best move was c4, which I anticipated, and this line exactly here is what I thought. I didn't see it as deep as the engine did. I saw it to here. I didn't see these next moves that the engine gives, which are very kind of like weighty moves. But I saw the idea of closing down the position like this, and then my bishops kind of become wonky. But I thought I can reroute, and we could be okay. Now, he didn't play that. He played e5, and I thought that this would be a very strong move, but apparently it's not. And I played knight b to d, or knight f d7. I think knight f d5 would have been much better for this particular knight, with the idea of maybe doing a maneuver like that, which I did not consider during the game. But I also now can push f5 even, which I thought could be very nice. And we might see some sort of particular line like this. It's not pretty, but I think it's holding. I'm not sure. It's tough to say. The other option would be to take, and then we get a position like this, and the engine shows a little bit further. And we get something like this. Excuse me. It's kind of symmetrical. I mean, the piece play is different. White has his advanced pawn. We both have a pawns. And this could have been a really good way to go. It might have been quite drawing, but I didn't go for that. I opted for this, thinking that maybe we could have a few trades on e5. He played e takes d6, no trades here, and queen takes d6. I'm still not castle, and again, I struggle in the Sicilian, in the O'Kelly specifically, trying to get castled. I delay, and then I'm not sure where I'm supposed to go, and then I'm left with my king stuck in the middle at times, and I really have to figure this problem out. I have a lot of problems with this particular scenario of not castling. d5, and at this point in the game, I'm feeling it's like already over. Knight b6 really kind of messed me up positionally, and all of his pieces are like really working together and well placed. They can all come in, and oops, that's not good. And my pieces are just like kind of sitting here being super passive, super defensive, and not working well. So I played knight takes d5, and I lose a pawn. I played rook to g8, and he takes another one. And I thought, well, with this pin here, I might have some gameplay. So I took. And it doesn't work. And I got exactly what I wanted, but as menacing as this looks, I only have 2 pieces in the attack. This is almost useless. I also am missing a few squares. So I'm kind of very limited in my options. Now, I saw this, but it's easily taken care of. So I have some issues. I thought it was really clever, but he has enough pieces defending that it can hold. So it did not work. c4, and I played knight f4. Maybe I should have just taken the pawn. I think this is probably just the best. And then we get a position like this. And then maybe I can play for a checkmate a little bit better. But yeah, it didn't play out that way. I played here. Now my attack is, now I have another one less piece in the attack, which I had that knight that could have come in. And here was a blunder. And I played queen to g4 when what I should have just played is went back. But that didn't happen. So very interesting stuff. And I wonder what the best course of action is. Maybe we should have just kind of traded off pieces. But that didn't happen. He played an 81. King e7. I want to get my rook over here. It's very crude, but I have some options. Maybe castling was better. I could get my king out of the center and do the same threat, and then I can always tuck my king behind my bishops. But I was afraid of, you know, this type of scenario. You know, I thought it was pretty good, but my king just doesn't hold up. Mine's more loose than his is, so I thought it was maybe a good idea, but it didn't quite work. And I tried to find a bunch of other options here. That was one particular option. Here was another option. This is the engine line. As you can tell, it's a little wonky. That was the best line. At the end of the day, I just played rook to g8, a threatening checkmate. But I missed this move right here. Threatening my queen and check at the same time. I missed that, and I thought, well, maybe I can displace the queen. Nope. And I just put myself in more danger. And I'm going to kind of quickly go through the rest of the game because it doesn't really matter. I'm lost at this point. It's plus 4.5. I can't really come back from it. So here's where I resigned. Pretty unfortunate. I thought I was pretty clever. I'm still playing fighting chess, which was nice. But yeah, a better move was definitely rook h8 and then coming over here. And this is hard to deal with. So yeah, overall it was a good game. I enjoyed it, and I had a really great postmortem with Eli. He gave me a lot of kind of tips on the game. He was pretty impressed with my fighting, and I put up more opposition than he thought. He most certainly said I was not a 1736, so that was really nice of him to say, and it was a really nice boost to my confidence hearing some nice things from him, which was good. I do look forward to playing him again, but right now in the tournament we are sitting 1-1. So thanks for watching, everybody. It does really help me out if you like and share. It shows me you like this content, you want to see more, and I will catch you guys in the next episode. Thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great day.